Alright. And as expected, we are going to be starting off with both of them in Windman first. There are 3 different routes for this game as to what you can start with. It's generally known that Wind is the fastest route. Oh, nice, we got a ladder jump from Beco. See if that one does not. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so we got 3 different routes. Wind first. The others are Flame first and Night first. Only 2 people have ever done Night first, myself and PJ. It's not as good as the other routes, but it's really fun. That's all I can say. It's only a few seconds slower, though. But we're going to start with Wind because not really any weapons benefit the level that make it any faster. Plus, Wind is a fight that you can do without any sort of patterns getting in the way. He's pretty much free at any point to hit him. So he's a good buster fight.
Yeah, the only alternatives are, like, some people really, really don't like mashing these pandas. So if you have a weapon, that can be helpful, but it's not any actually faster if your mashing is decent.
Exactly, and the only reason that is the case is because of how long pausing in this game takes.
Right.
So in order to swap to another weapon, it takes quite a long time, and if it wasn't for that, it would actually be faster if you go to another route. But it looks like Beco hits the gate first, going straight into Windman. Ohon not too far after him. So this fight is pretty interesting with the Buster fight as well. Buster, apparently, when you slide, starting to charge, it decreases the time it takes to charge up the Buster by a frame. So you want to try and slide as much as possible in order to get an optimal fight to reduce that charge time.
Yep. I guess we haven't really mentioned it yet, but Mega Man 6 is pretty notorious for not being able to jump out of your slide. You either have to wait for it to end, cancel it by turning around, or cancel it by hitting the jump button during your... so you'll see the runners like canceling their slide pretty quickly. They're using back or jump to get more slides off.
Exactly. Pretty close kills. There was another thing that you noticed that they try to do anyway. For the 8 Robot Masters, we want to try and kill the bosses on the in the corner, and especially in the right corner. For one reason, or I guess 2 reasons. The first being that if you kill them in the corner, the timed fanfare that happens will happen sooner because you have decreased lag. And the other one is, for some reason, there's additional decreased lag if you jump against the right wall. Don't know why, but it just does.
So weird.
And it's only on the right wall, it doesn't happen on the left, so right wall is the absolute best place that you can kill us. Oh!
Scumbag.
Scumbag rolling. Scumbag rolling! Both!
Yeah, so this stage is really, really cool. It's really, really fun. There's a lot of like super technical movement through this stage. There's unfortunately a little bit of randomness with that Pooker if he decides to shoot you or not, but...
Yep. See if they go for any of the advanced tech at the end of this stage here.
Yeah, this last screen is pretty scary. If the Fire Boys manage to ignite the oil...
They both got it, nice.
That will be a one-shot if you actually take damage from it, so that's pretty dangerous. Want to avoid that, obviously.
Something that's also interesting to note, if you have any of those hazards happen, they actually stay between deaths. So if you had them light, on fire, and you go back, that'll still be on fire. And some of them are actually linked from room to room as well. So if you had one lit on fire earlier in the stage, it'll have another section lit.
Very nice kills there.
There's as we go through that victory pose. Everyone go thought a quick donation from Mellow Flows, donated $35. He is going to put his incentive towards commentator Choi.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Decisions.
First off, is Untitled Goose Game met?
Not yet. No, we're at still at $155 for a Untitled Goose Game. 45 to go.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, I think we gotta go for that.
We gotta go for that.
Sounds good.
Also, I just want to point out that these 2 are nearly synced at this point. Ohon got a better pattern, I think, in that fight. And it's actually now slightly ahead, so this is going to be quite a race.
Yeah.
Blizzard is a really fun stage. This is my favorite stage in the game. As we talked about, you have slide canceling in this game instead of jumping out of your slides. That actually applies to ice physics in a weird way as well. So if you try to cancel by turning around on ice, it'll kind of rubber band you back the way you came. But if you A-cancel on it, it actually keeps your forward momentum. So you can have a lot of extra slides that you're doing in here that you don't lose any movement for. Because you A-cancel, then you can still do other things as a result. Now we're going to see if we can get butter here on the submarine. Both playing it safe, okay. That's good.
Ooh, yeah,
okay. Yeah. I don't blame him for that. So, if you go as fast as possible on that submarine, you can get underneath those spikes at the very end without stopping, and we call that butter. Because it's a pretty close call, and if you get it, you are smooth as butter. Alternatively, they both right in the middle of the stage... Yeah, okay, just making sure. They both in the middle of the stage jumped over a pit that you can slide over, but there's a chance that it subpixels you into death, so they just took it safe.
Yeah, this game has some weird things with edges and subpixels. One of those is like if you sometimes you can slide over certain pits and sometimes you can't. The game just decides to kill you instead. It's a little weird, but definitely good call playing it safe, I think.
Oh, I got a Sing to Kill on my screen.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was super close. Blizzard Man's got some randomness to him as well. Whether he decides to just ski forward and let you hit him or roll when he goes invincible for...
Yeah, so if he decides to roll forward, the first one I think is a 2-second loss, and then each one after that is a second.
That sounds right.
So you hope that he doesn't roll at all. But what can you do when he does? You just have to hope. The average is 2 rolls, but we've seen people get up to 6 rolls even in a run, so it can be pretty devastating.
Yeah, the bosses in this game are fairly random for the most part. The only real governing rule is that most bosses in the game cannot repeat the same action more than twice. So like if, say, Blizzard Man, for example, rolls twice, then he's guaranteed to do something else next time.
Okay, so there is a bit of a difference there in randomness. The turret that was there can, at the beginning of that room, can fire either early or late. If it fires late, you can actually slide underneath the bullet. You can technically do that if it slides early, but you have to be like absolutely frame perfect in order to do that. It's impossible.
Yeah, so there's some very precise flame routing in this stage. We're going to be using a lot of it for the gorilla tanks and also just because it's a good weapon. So got to be very careful with how they're using their flame ammo here.
Beco taking a little bit safe on the gorilla there. You can one-jump those if you have good enough mashing, but it's also very easy to overmash and then not have enough ammo for the end.
Ohon's playing it safe here. I respect that. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly why. Yeah.
So these platforms, or as we call them, plant forms, they... Oh, wow! Okay.
Brutal last screen here. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw 2 different strats. One that Beco tried to go for and failed, and then Ohon did the Buster strat instead. Those platforms, you can jump on them without opening them. You open them by shooting them, but only certain weapons actually open them. So they actually have a hitbox that you can still stand on for about 6 frames. And if you're good enough, you can just jump off of them. 6-frame jumps, no biggie. But it's also quite terrifying because you have to do 4 of them in a row.
Yeah.
So I respect anybody in a race setting, not going for those.
Yeah, especially with the health refills there, because this is one of your classic NES style games, so the game does pause for health refills, which can definitely throw off your timing if you're not at full.
Yep.
Oh
no.
Scumbag plant, man.
Now, that is a pretty devastating death, but deaths are, incredibly short in this game. I think they're the shortest in the series.
Yeah.
By a long shot. Oh, hold on, I want to first see if Beco gets this.
Oh, he did. Sick.
Yes, he does. Alright, 6 hit. Alright. Well, let's play that in a sec. So deaths are really short in this, so despite the fact that was a huge time loss, probably, 50 seconds or so compared to Beco, Ohan is definitely not out of this. Like, he can definitely come back and still make this a close race.
Yes.
Now, as far as what happened for Beco, he went and got the 6-hit cycle, as we call it, on Plant Man. So, as Orsa had stated earlier, most of the bosses can only do 2 actions, and Plant only has 2 actions and is guaranteed to do one right after the other for how he's programmed. If you happen to stand directly in the middle of him, it kind of confuses the game, or rather, it keeps counting up, I should say. I should get the terminology right.
Right.
As to where Mega Man is. He's trying to find you on the screen, but he can't. Because it was in the 0 position, essentially. So let's count up every single number until it goes again from use another pattern. Which allows us to hit him much faster than usual.
Yeah, normally he just walks a little bit, and then you have to wait for him to put his shield up again, and then jump again. It's really slow, but by making him walk the maximum distance, you can get up to 6 hits in on him per walk cycle.
It's a considerably faster fight.
Yeah, for sure.
That said, it's also easy to miss, because you only have like a 2-frame standing area to get it on. Tomahawk stage is pretty straightforward. There's probably not going to be a lot going on at the moment if you have a donation.
We do have a few of them. We have a donation from BassGuy4 who donated $20 with a comment that says AGDQ Ninja Guided 2 Hypoo. Beco will be running at AGDQ. And he also put that donation towards Untitled Goose Game has now been met for the marathon.
Awesome.
You'll be seeing that after Spyro. Also, Tricodin donated $50. Let's make sure Terex has to play yellow in MC Plus.
Oh, geez, no, why? Not again.
Very nice. Thank you, Tricodin and BassGuy for this donation.
For those who don't know, I've run Mute Crimson Plus the last 2 years in this, kind of as our tradition thing. I had to play yellow, which is like my least favorite color. I not only had to play yellow the first year we did this, I PB'd in that race, and it's still my PB. So, who wants to make me not play yellow?
You heard the man. Donate towards yellow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so like Tarek said, Tomahawk, pretty easy stage. Not a whole lot of complex stuff going on here. Honestly, the scariest thing in the stage is probably the boss fight.
Yeah.
Tomahawk hits pretty hard, and you have exact ammo on Plant Barrier to take it. So if, say, you don't respect the iframes and accidentally fire a little bit too early, then you're going to be losing time having to switch to either Buster or Pow Suit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Oh.
Short death from Beco there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've picked up any lives or not. So this could potentially be scary, because if they haven't, they both get 0 lives, I think.
I think they're both in 0 lives right now. I don't have audio on to hear if they got any drops, but...
That's scary. It's definitely scary.
Yeah, they both died twice, so... Yeah, X1 is not next, which is where we can get some more lives. So we got 3 more stages for
Yeah, there's definitely some game over danger in the next couple stages.
The Yamato Man stage is pretty much the most consistent stage in the game. It's fairly short compared to others. There's not a lot to mess up on. It's probably the one stage that you'll consistently get within like 2 seconds of your gold split easily. Every run, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the only thing that's new here that we haven't seen yet is the jet adapter. Jet's pretty cool. It sort of exists in lieu of a standard rush jet in this game. You can use it to gain height, but only a certain amount, and you can also kind of flutter it by repeatedly tapping in order to sort of hover horizontally with it.
And gain some extra height.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh no.
So Yamato Man should be like the easiest fight in the game. He's got only 2 attacks that he can do. He either throws a spear at you or he jumps. he also follows the rule of he can only do the same action twice in a row. So if you see him throw the spear twice, he's guaranteed to jump, and vice versa. So he's really easy to predict as to where he'll be and to dodge his attacks accordingly.
Yep.
At the same time, that makes it a really fun fight, in my opinion, even if it's a little easier, just because you can kind of know what's happening and work around it at all times.
Yeah, agreed. I like this fight a lot.
So now he's guaranteed to throw it.
Yeah, so beco's into Knight here. This screen is pretty neat. There's a lot of interesting strats you can do here. We'll see which one he opts for.
Okay.
Opt for the pause, yeah, probably a good idea.
Especially
so-
with only one life.
So while the game is pausing and unpausing, Mega Man sort of stays in place, but the spike ceiling continues to move. So you can kind of just get barely under it by pausing. You can also beat it if you're super fast, but that's really, really hard. So I
It's
definitely don't blame him for
hard.
pausing.
Yeah. I will say though, that pause that he did was extremely close. He was like frame off from dying.
Yeah.
He was really, really close to dying there. So we'll see if ohonta gets a little cleaner there or not. If he does, and you slide at the right time, you actually get an extended slide, as Paul called a super slide.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if he manages to get that and gain a little bit of time from that. Yo, Mad Nerds.
Nice, perfect.
Ohon does get the slide, but he doesn't kill the drill in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the timing, it's not too tough to get the super slide, but it is somewhat tight. Like you essentially want to slide right as the spike ceiling starts to push you down, so the game treats it like a ceiling and you just get an extra little bit of distance.
Reminder that it's a spike ceiling for this reason. Whoever calls it a spike wall doesn't know what they're talking about. So Nightman here is the one robot of the 8 robots that does not follow the rule of they can only do 2 actions in a row, or of the same action in a row. He does whatever he wants. As you saw there, he threw his mace out several times. So we got more Mad Nerds. He threw his mace out several times there. His most common thing, though, is that he will just jump and jump and jump around the screen, and you will never hit him.
Yeah.
So, you just gotta hope that he stays on the ground.
Just want to make a really quick plug here, guys. We have the Spyro Year of the Dragon incentive coming up to a close in about 20 minutes. If you want to make a donation incentive towards the color of Spyro, the color green is leading with $10. Make sure to get those in. You have about 20 minutes left.
Orsa hates green, so donate for anything else.
What the heck?
What? Just as much as I like yellow.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, so beco, I think he had a pretty good screen 1 of Centaur. Screen 1's kind of tough. There's 2 interesting things in it. There's a very tight back damage boost on one of the Metroids at the start. And then there's also what we call Miracle Jump. I don't know, Terex, do you want to?
Yeah, Miracle Jump, and we'll see if Ohon gets it. Miracle Jump, there's a pit that you try to cancel and jump over. If you do a full slide before the pit and then jump, it applies water physics. Something weird. There's something weird about pits and jumping out of water that like applies the water physics to you even if you exit it. There's the 2 frame. Let's see if Ohon gets the other. There's Miracle Jump. Okay, so he did manage to get it. If you cancel on time, you can get underneath that Metroid, but if you miss it, then you just end up sailing straight into the Metroid and dying, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's not the hardest thing to pull off, but it is scary.
The alternative strat is switching to Plant Barrier, which is a great strat.
Yeah, Plant
I highly
Barrier
recommend
is
it.
a fantastic weapon. No one thinks it is, but it's actually the best weapon in the game. The only problem is that they meant to have an extra feature to it, and as a result, they only gave it 7 ammo. Oh, is that a game over from Ohon?
Oh, that's...
It is.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Centaur Man, he has a couple of things that he can do. He got kind of an average pattern there. So you want him to run. That's the best thing you can do, is just run straight at you. The other thing you can do is teleport, which wastes a lot of time. So you hope that he runs twice. He can teleport up to 3 times within the iframes that he has. He can also flash you, but if that happens, then you really messed up. For a long time, we didn't know why Centaur Man flashed us. We just know that if he did, you did something wrong. We have since discovered that it is because either he or Mega Man must be in iframes for him to not flash you. So as long as you constantly are hitting him, you'll never get flashed.
Yep.
Now, there was a game over there, but this race still is not over.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, bad things can happen in X1 for sure.
bad things happen in X1, in X4, in X3.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a gauntlet that's kind of coming up. So
Yeah.
this is not an easy speed game. Whew, okay, that was a scary quick set. Okay. So as Beco demonstrated there, you can get across that without stopping, but he did it in a really scary manner. Oh, he goes for it. Okay, he got past the window. I'm kind of surprised he went for it, given that he has no lives left.
Yeah.
So, but he gets it, and he's through, and he'll get some extra lives here in this room.
This
and he
awful,
had good,
awful room.
good participation from the grasshoppers. So, we used to swap to Buster there and go through because you can slide through it, which makes sense. You get through the room faster. But because of how slow the pausing is in this, I wondered if it actually was faster and timed it with Power Suit instead. And it was consistently faster by at least a second to do with Power Suit, and everyone hates me now. Because it made that room so much harder.
Yeah, so that boss there, Rounder 2, that you might have seen Beco fight, I don't know, it was pretty quick, doesn't actually have iframes on the sides where his damaging is. So what you can do is you can kind of just leave the flame blasts on the floor and let him run into them, and he just like dies very, very quickly.
Yeah, same with the wall.
Yep. Yep. It's a little bit faster to actually like aim the flame blast, but it's a lot harder because the hitbox is kind of weird.
X2 is pretty flat and straight, so if you got another donation, you could read one here.
Perfect timing. Conster, my boy, donated $1. Take this $1 for green, but I heard green and red is better. Tell me, babe.
Constar, a person playing TMNT 4 later on. The turtle donation as to who he plays.
Oh, okay. I thought he just really liked Christmas.
I mean, he might.
Okay.
Could definitely also be that, yeah.
Could you confirm in chat, please, Constar? Do you like Christmas?
So I think Beco had a pretty good X2 there. He's coming up on Power Piston here, which is another sucky boss.
Yeah.
The scary thing about Power Piston here in particular is that you have to use Silver Tomahawk to fight him, which is his weakness. And Silver Tomahawk is also the weakness of about 17 other bosses in the castles. So
exactly 17.
You have to be very, very careful with your ammo. And since Power Piston is so random, you can definitely miss a lot of shots here if you're not very careful.
I know how awful that fight is, but it's still my favorite fight because when you do it right, it just feels so good.
It does, yeah.
Like,
it's very satisfying to land all the tomahawks, yeah.
Yeah, the fight, he just moves up and down randomly, and if you read him properly and just land everything, it feels so good. But yeah, if he just dodges everything, then it kind of sucks. So, you win some, you lose some. Now, X3, this is a pretty interesting stage because we're going to see like the absolute most jet usage in this run. This stage is just one big pit.
Yeah, it's very clearly designed for a lot of jet usage here.
Mm-hmm. We will get a bit of Buster usage here, just because of sliding through the next couple of rooms.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that, but you cannot slide if you have one of the adapters equipped. You're just stuck with walk.
Which makes sense. I mean, sliding with the jetpack on, that would ruin the jetpack. Why would you do that?
That's true. That's true.
Leaving oil everywhere. Yeah.
So one more last really long room here.
Yes. Still scary though, like.
Oh yeah, if you get sniped by one of these pookers, you're just dead. You're
just dead. Oh, that was kind of scary too.
Oh my god.
He didn't get high enough, so
yeah.
As a result, his second stutter didn't have enough jet to get up again to any location.
He did get those 1-ups in X1, so not a game over, but still a pretty long death there.
They both have enough tomahawk though, so they're good on tomahawk ammo.
Yeah.
Ohan has less, but you only need to like have 4 by the end of that fight to still have enough by the end of it. I was redundant there.
I almost thought Becca was gonna break the block there.
So did I.
That's what I'd have done.
Alright, he's through though, that's what matters. So this boss, Matongr Z, the greatest boss name in history. Get your fingers easy, chat. So anyway, Matongr Z is a very weird fight. His actual weakness is why did I blink in the blizzard attack?
Blizzard, yeah.
I was like, it starts with a B. Blizzard attack. But it only does 3 damage. Power Suit actually does 4 damage, and you can hit him way faster and with a lot less lag that Blizzard attack causes.
Yeah, Blizzard attack is just terrible. Never ever use it. Except for Plant Man.
Except for Plant Man.
I have a very timely quick donation from Resisting Frame, who donated $20, saying, "I wish we had life drops like in Mega Man 5."
Yeah, Mega Man 4 and 5 have really, really high 1-up drops. And that was not the case in Mega Man 6, so...
Yeah. Thank you, Resisting Frame. Appreciate it.
So Becca's into X4 here. Ooh. Yeah,
Resisting
go ahead.
Frame, also one of the runners for the relay race.
Yeah, very good runner. I think he just PB'd today, didn't he?
Did he? Oh, wow. Did he beat me yet? I gotta find out.
Yeah, so X4 here. This stage is horrifying. Like, it's so scary.
This is by far the hardest stage and scariest stage both in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question. Ooh, drops. At least it was a big drop. I would have been scared for a small drop.
Yeah. So Night Crusher's pretty good here, killing these Coltons, and then also through the final room here.
Yeah, so again, this is one big pit like X3, but a lot less verticality, is that a word?
Sure.
A lot less vertical sections to it, so you can just run across them with the Night Crusher and kill things much easier. Now, there's 2 fights that you can do on X Crusher here. One is with House Suit, and the other is with the actual weakness of Flame. The Flame fight is a lot harder, but it is faster, and you do have to have enough health to do it, because you have to tank hits for it.
So Mr. X down, that's time.
Failed D! Oh wait, this is Japanese. What?
Oh my
Dr.
gosh.
Wily. Oh man,
Can't
I never
believe
saw
it.
it coming. Yo, if you saw that was Dr. Wily, donate right now, because you were smarter than all of us.
Also press 1 in chat.
That too.
Alright, so 4 more stages here. Mr. X was not the final boss. There are another whole castle to go. Thankfully, the Wily stages are typically a lot less scary than the X stages are.
Yes.
There are some scary parts of these stages, but as a whole, like, definitely a lot less bad.
Let's see if Ohonta gets the checkpoint room. Nope. If you are the absolute fastest you can be in that checkpoint room in X4, you can actually get under the second shield attacker, which is really cool, but it's really, really tight timing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as Wily 1 here goes, we use Jet at the beginning and fall down a few screens and then swap at the midpoint here. You can continue falling down on the left side, but it is a couple screens slower to do that, even though you have to swap twice on your weapons. Ooh, Ohon going for the flame fight. Decided.
Let's go.
You got the health for it. You need at least half health to do this, so we'll see if he gets this. Ooh, he missed one shot.
Ooh, still got it, though.
Ooh, okay, that was scary though. Oh man, that gave me a heart attack.
Yeah.
Now we get to see the worst boss in this game.
Yes. Oh boy, here we
Tough
go.
magic get
Yeah, so this boss is really just an unfortunate victim of how both the boss and the weakness are just because Yamato Spear has a certain speed attached to it. I think it's what, 4 pixels per frame? 6 pixels per frame. Okay.
6 pixels per frame.
And Matongerzy's hitbox is not quite that wide.
It's
So
4 pixels wide.
4 pixels wide. So depending on where you shoot the spear from, there is a potential that the spear will just jump over the hitbox and just not hit at all.
Yep, it's got 2 dead frames in it.
There are safe spots to fire. Like if you are lined up directly against the wall, it will hit every time. But obviously that's slower because you have to wait longer before you fire.
Ooh, does he get the second jump? Misses it. All right.
Sorry, no,
So-
back up.
Yeah.
All right.
So there is one difference right here in Beco's screen from what Ohan won't really, or will have a harder time doing anyway. Because Ohan went for the flame fight on X Crusher, he won't have the flame ammo to go through X or YV2 as quickly. Now the other way that Ohan did it is faster overall, but it does make it much tighter on your flame ammo as you go through.
Here comes the best boss in the game.
Yeah,
The
Bubble Jumbo.
BJW.
Bubble Jumbo Wheel. That is not the actual name. I always forget that it's like CS Tank Mach 3 or something.
Yeah, Tank CS2, I think.
Yeah.
Something very stupid.
Ohan's trying to get his double hits in, but as you can see, it's quite the task.
Very quickly, you guys got about 8 minutes to get those Spyro of the Year of the Dragon incentives donations.
You got 8 minutes to make it not green and make Orsa mad.
$11 for green right now. It's in the lead.
You only need $12. 12.
Just trying to revert Spyro to his original color, that's all. Is that such a crime?
It is to some.
Okay, fair enough.
But those some may not be here, we'll just see.
That's true.
Ohan
so-
gets the jump, alright.
Sick. That goes into refights here. Refights are pretty much all the same. The only one that's different is going to be wind, because we actually do have his weakness now.
Yep.
But lots of opportunity for randomness here, as you can see on Beco's screen.
You got 2 rolls already, 2 snowflakes. Alright, so who might get the third one? Yep, 3 rolls. 2 is the average.
Below average, yeah.
You
Or
see, I'd
above
say that
average,
she-
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. I'd say the 2 rolls is the average, but my runs in the past, like, few months have all been, like, 4 on average, so I don't know anymore. Again, you do have to be careful of plant barrier here on Tomahawk. It is scarier here in the fact that you do not want to take any hits whatsoever. Because you cannot teleport out of the boss rooms in this game until you've picked up the health refill. And that's perfect, alright. Very good.
Very nice, yeah.
Tomahawk is very, very unpredictable. It can very easily jump into you, and then you're just wasting more time because you have to wait for that health to refill. Here we have wind. Same thing, you only have 7 uses of Centaur Flash, so you just gotta respect the iframes to make sure you get through. You forgot to fire the last one. One thing to note, especially between the Centaur and Wind capsules, you need to absolutely make sure you do not pause in that overworld section. Because, for whatever reason, if you pause the swap there between those two, you have this 3 years pause. Shoutouts to Golden. For coining that.
Yeah, it's so weird. There's just a couple spots in this game where if you pause at the wrong time, you'll just get a pause that's like so much longer than the normal pause.
Oh, are we gonna get through
Opportunity
Jumpington?
Yeah, for
Oh,
night
there we
jumps
go. Through Jumpington.
Alright, so here comes Plant again. Remember, we're looking for that long walk. Want to be in the right spot here.
He's got the harder pattern going left. If he jumps to the right, you can... Oh, there he gets it.
Easy.
It's the hardest one, though, so he's got to be really tight on it. Yep, see.
Oh, not quite. Yeah,
That's the
fine,
hardest
though.
pattern to deal
not a
with.
big deal.
Yeah. Still faster than if he waited between every one of them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Alright, So Yamato again is pretty easy. Just want to make sure you're not wasting too many tomahawks because you need tomahawk for all 3 phases of Wily, Becco.
He wasted what, 4 there?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then he has exact ammo. You can only waste 2 with full ammo.
Yeah.
Not only doesn't you need it for Wily, you need it for the Met dispenser in the middle
Yeah.
of the stage. Okay, no, he's clear. Okay.
Yep.
He's got full. Alright,
So this is
yeah.
quick. Yeah, we're coming up on time for Becco here.
Indeed. First 2 phases are really fast. 3rd phase might be fast. We'll see what patterns Wily gives. I'm going to fire one right in the middle so that once the 2nd phase starts, it immediately hits him. Pretty convenient. So now here, Wily in the capsule phase, and button will hit will be time. Oh, that's the best spawn you can get.
Great spawn.
You can
Yeah.
hit him off screen. From that hit spawn, it wraps around and you can hit him again.
Throwing 2 just for good measure, and yeah, great capsule pattern.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pattern. You did get a top left spawn, which is a little slow. The best spawns that you could get are that right middle one and bottom left corner. Or right in the middle in front of him. So long as you can hit 4 and then 3 on the second one. And always remember that Dr. Wily be anime. Alright, just this last stage here for Ohan. Gonna pick up his ammo. Something to note about that screen you need to fall onto. You come out of the capsule, you swap to Tomahawk, and you need to absolutely make sure you do not slide off of that ledge. Because for some reason, if you do, you will never be able to go get the ammo refill that's inside there. It just sends you straight past it. So you have to walk off, no matter what. Okay, phase 2. He had a better phase 1 than Becco did. Even a better phase 2. Oh. That's the second worst spawn that you can get.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's the absolute worst
gross,
spawn that you can get. The top middle spawn... Hold on. Time.
Nice.
The top middle spawn you can only hit if you're in the very right corner of the screen. And the majority of spawns are better to hit if you're on the left side. So getting that one on is just terrible. But GG to both of them. Fun race.
Great race.
GG's.